Thank you for taking the time to join me on this webinar. In this session, we will be looking at the notification and shutdown services. Let's take a look at notification services. I'm just going to log into Opera 3 as the manager. Once logged in, I'm going to go into the administration application. From administration, you'll notice that we've got a new scheduling section. In there, you can see the existing functionality of the task scheduler has been moved from utilities into the scheduling group, but we've got two additional functions: messaging and shutdown. These come as standard with Opera 3, and with these additional features, there is a new user group function as well. Now, this has been initially designed to be used with the scheduling services, but is being looked at and analyzed for other areas such as user profiles. We can find that under maintenance and under user groups. To create a new user group, just click the new icon in the bottom left hand corner or Control N on the keyboard, type in the group name. I'm going to call it sales. Call this the sales group and save. From within this form, I can click action and select the members belonging to that group. So I'm going to say Mr. Smith and the manager. If I go into my maintenance form and into user profiles, we'll see the opposite way round, where you can be sitting on a particular user profile and select which group they belong to. I will now be able to use these groups when I'm creating notifications in terms of messages or the shutdown routine. Right, notifications. Well, these are designed to distribute messages to Opera 3 users in the form of alerts, and they will appear on the Opera 3 desktop. Users will receive currently active messages when they log in, or any new messages being sent out at the nominated time while they're still logged into Opera 3. A timer program is installed on all Opera 3 client computers by the Opera 3 installer, the actual client installation itself, and this timer program continuously checks for any messages that have been scheduled to be sent to Opera 3 users. The time that it uses is based from the Opera 3 server. When the timer program finds a message that should have been sent or should be sent, it is displayed on the user's desktop, either immediately if the user is logged in, or as soon as the user logged in after the time it was supposed to notify them. The user can close this message once read. Messages can contain anything, but would probably be related to functions within Opera 3, such as running a period end at a specific time and letting users know that and giving them ample time to log out. So let's create a new message. From the system application, I'm going to go into scheduling. I'm going to go into messaging. To create a new message, I can either click the new button in the bottom left hand corner or Control N on the keyboard. I'm going to give it a title of Sales Period and Reminder. I'm going to schedule it for today and within about 5 minutes time. I can set it to frequency once. I can have it set to daily to repeat every so many days. I can have it set to weekly and repeat on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, any day of the week. Or I can set it to monthly, where I can pick specific days of the month, including the last day of the month. Or a set day, as in the first Monday, for example, or second Wednesday. I'm going to switch it to once. How long does the message take to expire? I'm going to say it'll probably be about 10 minutes. And then the general message that you would like the users to see. This is a reminder for all sales staff to complete all pipelines before the 20th. Thank you. It's an active message, so I'll leave that ticked. I can even preview the message by just clicking on the preview icon, and you can see it appearing there, bottom right hand corner. See the full message there? Click on the arrow. I'm going to save this message. From there I'm going to click the action menu and choose distribution. Who am I going to be sending it to? By default, all users are ticked. I can click on action and reverse the selection, but nobody ticked is basically the same as everybody ticked. It will send it to everyone. However, I'm going to make it a bit more specific. I'm going to choose the sales group and I'm going to choose manager. Now manager already belongs to the sales group, so they will only receive the message once. I'm going to click OK. From the action menu, I'm now going to choose companies. If I've got more than one company, I can choose to only send it to users in line with a specific company if I so wish. I'll leave it to Orion Vehicles. I'll click OK and close. It's now a waiting game for the message to come up. But in the meantime, what I'm going to show you are some of the user preferences to control some of the aspects of the messages. And these are found under the user preferences. So system preferences. From the action menu, I've got something called notification preferences. And in there, I can choose how transparent the desktop alert can be. I can also choose to play a sound when the alert appears. And there is the message. Now please remember that in a networked environment, it is possible that the time on the workstation computer is slightly different to the time on the Opera 3 server. It is the time on the Opera 3 server that will be used to display these messages. You can also see that within the Windows taskbar there is an Opera 3 icon. That allows you to show messages that have been processed. If I right mouse click on this, you'll see I've got several options there. I've got show last message, show all received messages, hide any. I'm just going to click show last received message, and up comes the one that I've just seen. To open it up to see the full message, just click on the arrow. There's the full message. Right, let's move on to shutdown. Shutdown works very similar to messaging with the addition of forcing users to quit Opera 3 and has a functionality of a lockout to prevent the users from logging back on again. Now the admin user does adhere to this shutdown, but it is the only user that is able to log back in during a lockout. Before we create a new shutdown instruction, what we have is the ability to set up 2 extra timed warning points, which means the user will potentially see up to 3 messages, each respectively increasing in importance, normal, yellow, and then a red color. So let's access the system preferences. We'll go into administration, the system application, utilities, and system preferences. In there at the bottom we've got 2 settings for notification services in regards to the shutdown. I'm going to set the 5-minute warning to 1 minute and the first warning to 2 minutes. Remember to set this so users do have enough time to finish what they are doing, as data may become corrupt if you shut down when someone is running a process which is in the middle of updating the system, for example a payroll update. Don't forget, a payroll update updates history files, rolls periods forwards, updates employee figures, etc. So it could take a little bit of time. Now that we've set that up, let's go into the shutdown functionality and create a new shutdown record. Under scheduling, we've got shutdown. To create a new record, Control N or the new button in the bottom left hand corner. The default description comes through as shutdown. I can amend it or add to it if I so wish. I'm going to leave it for today's date. Going to change the time to 4 o'clock. I've got very similar options here. I can set it to once, daily, weekly, or monthly. Similar options to what we had in messaging. I'm going to leave it as once. I'm going to show this message for about 5 minutes. And then the actual bulk of the message. Please log out of Opera 3. Backup required. Thanks. I'm going to leave it as active, and I'm going to put a lockout for around 99 minutes. So once I've saved this, what I should be getting are 3 warning messages. One at 5 minutes, one at 2 minutes, and one at 1 minute. I'm going to click the Save button. From the action menu, I've got distribution. It's defaulted to everyone. I'm going to leave that as everyone because everybody needs to log out of the system. And I'm going to choose which companies for the shutdown message to appear in. I'm going to leave it to Orion Vehicles. It's the only company I've got on the system at this point in time. We'll now wait for the shutdown to occur. And here is the first reminder. It is worth noting that Pegasus products that link to Opera 3, such as Document Management, XRL, Pegasus CIS, Operations 2, etc., will not shut down. It's also advisable to close these products individually before the scheduled shutdown, as well as any external application accessing the Opera system. And here is the second reminder. And there is the final reminder. So the next thing is to shut down Opera. It's coming to 1 minute further on from the last and final warning that we saw, which means the system is about to shut down. There we have it. The system is actually shut down. To show you the lockout, I will now attempt to log back into Opera 3. As you can see, I'm locked out, but I do get a message telling me that it started at 1621 and a lockout period is in effect, that only admin can log in at this time, but it does tell me when I can log back into the system. Do be aware, however, admin can log back in to override the lockout, subject to a minute of the lockout cycle, or roughly a minute of the lockout cycle being processed. So I'm just going to log in as admin there. To override it, if I go back into the administration group, into the system application, scheduling and shutdown, find my shutdown record that's active. I'm going to make it non-active. Just going to change to a future time there, just because it needs it for that particular record. Close down, which means if I log back onto the system as manager this time, it will allow me back into the system. This new functionality is documented in more detail in the System Applications Training Manual. The database structures have also been updated according to the new tables and fields required, and further information is also available in the release guide and the F1 help respectively.